Here's integrated 3 is problem 9-69, and it wants you to factor all these expressions. So the key to this is difference of squares. If you see a perfect square and a minus sign and another perfect square, you can take the square root of the first term and the second term and rewrite it as, a plus b, a minus b. So I'll give you an example. So the first one, I've identified it as a difference of squares because 4 is a perfect square, x squared is a perfect square, 9 is a perfect square, and y squared is a perfect square. So I'm going to take the square root. So the square root of 4 is 2, and the square root of x squared is x. And so see, I've got a and b. And then all you have to do is write it as a plus b and a minus b. So I'm going to write this as 2x plus 3y and 2x minus 3y. So basically you can just look right here and take the square roots and you just write them in the blank spots. Okay, so this one, it's not super obvious that it's a difference of squares because obviously x cubed is not a square. So the first thing you have to do is factor out the common factor, the greatest common factor. So I'm going to factor out a 2 and an x cubed here. And then that will leave me with 4 minus x to the fourth. Well, now I see that 4 is a perfect square and x to the fourth is a perfect square. So I'm going to say the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of x to the fourth is x squared. Hey, maybe this one can be done twice. So I'm going to go 2 plus x squared and 2 minus x squared. Now I actually see that I think I can do it again. Wait, no, I can't, because 2 is not a I was going to try to do this one more time, but 2 is not a perfect square. So I'm just going to leave it. So I'm boxing in my answers. Okay, the next one, I have a perfect square of x to the fourth and a perfect square of 81y to the fourth. So this will be x squared. I'll just write it. Aha. So this one actually did give me another perfect square because x squared is a perfect square and 9y squared is a perfect square. So I'm going to rewrite this as x minus 3y, x plus 3y. And then this one, I know you can't see what I'm writing. Okay, so this one, when I took the difference of squares, I ended up with another one. I could do it again. So I took the square root of x squared and the square root of 9y squared. Okay, now the next one. This one, I have to factor out the common factor of 2x cubed, and then I come up with this. And it's not a difference of squares because it's got a plus sign, not a minus sign. Okay. And then so letter E says, what's the pattern? And you're going to say difference of squares.